Hey, what's up, guys? This is Sami again here. Today is 12th August 2023. Long life the king. I'm going further with part 2 of our C sharp uh, theory, and that is data type. First of all, let me talk about keywords. In C sharp, we have reserved keywords. And what is a reserved keyword? Reserved keywords wants to say these are internal built-in words that you uh, that you can't use it anywhere. That name, I mean, I want to show you here. These are reserved keywords, and in any programming language you have some such words. For example, I don't know, let's say Java reserve keywords. Just show you, for example, you say final. Final is just abstract, assert, byte, go to, for example, or any other language, Python. And let's check it out. A bool, I say something is a true or false byte. If I'm going to byte, each character uses a byte and it has maximum value. For example, I have here type of byte which is hold this value. What I mean by hold this value, by hold value, let me come back here because I want talk very simple. If I'm coming to properties, I have here 8 gig of install RAM memory. Okay, and if I'm coming here, it say 59% of that 8 gig is already in used. Where is in used? When we make application, when we make data, when we want to execute something or transfer something or talk to something, we need to make it. For example, we are human, we need to read a string, for example. Okay, a string contain of words contain of something else, and that holds memory space. That's why I'm saying, for example, integer, which is just integer from this value to this value. And now let me come here. I have here simple console application which you saw. This is just to show you this is nothing. Just watch what I mean by, for example, these things. This is simple one which is really simple and just nothing. What it's doing, say Armin welcome, because I say here when you want to print something to your user, you this is statement. This is not for now, this is just example what the data type is. If I'm coming back here, it say, for example, we have here short unit. These are all numeric. Okay, this is byte. For example, we have here as a character. Let's go to the character. B character 16 bit. Okay, and like this. Okay, and let me go to other one. For example, this is bool. We have decimal, double. For example, 10.2 or 10.5 or 10 point whatever. Float, double, decimal. Integer is just integer. Here we have also unsigned integer and those things. Here you have every, but I'm going, for example, to show you. Here we have other references. These are primitive things. These are unprimitive things. And let me come here. For example, we have here a bool. Let's see, I have here a var. For example, I have an integer. Let's come here. Let's come back here, for example, to the int. I say here, it say integer is from this to this. Okay, I'm going to copy it. I say here int, you don't need to write int, but I want just is equal to, this is maximum what it's hold, for example, as integer. Okay, okay, but if I'm saying now 8, we have no problem here, and I say I have here a variable, just capital, here I have integer, it say integer int 32, and if I say this is 8, what happened is say that's not more any integer. Okay, you get right direct that, hey, but how I'm fix it, this is old school way. Now if you say here, for example, var, application goes understand, hey, this is u int unsigned, for example. Okay, and for example like this, how you use it, for example, I don't know, var x, for example, here if I say int x is equal to 10, and then I say here var x, or I say var x is equal to 10, for example, if I say here var x2, these are both valid, but really here when you're sure 100% that the return type is exact thing, I'm going for to use it like var. Let's go back here, for example, I don't know, here for example we have here some this just nothing here. If we back here, we have here reserve keywords, I say, and now this was just for example, we have here abstract here. Why I say abstract, for example, again, no need to need abstract. You see exact when you use it, it's get highlighted blue. You see var int, for example, use, I don't know, static. When you use it, it get blue, and you will understand this is something wrong here. Okay, that's not okay, and when you read it, you will understand what is the problem. Okay, let me see which one. Finally fix float 4, for example, what is 4 here. These are reservoir, you don't need to know. For example, I have here a list of and let me say, for example, let me find here a good example here for 4. Let me come here. For loop. What is for loop? For, I have here for loop statement. For is just reservoir. When you want to iterate something, say I have here a data type is 0, you want to expect to print this I 2 times or 3 times, I don't know, 2 times. Okay, like this. Come on, let's rerun it. 0, 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, you get all. This is just like, for example, let me come back here. Let's see what I get here. I want just to know the imported one, which is a string, integer, and double, which in these cases you use, and you will discover all of those things in this series. Let me see, for example, a string. Big Daddy, a string is just a string. This is a string. Hello is a string. When you say, for example, I have a string, I say here, for example, I have here a string t is equal to a string goes to double quote. I say here I have a variable which is name is t, for example, say test1. I have a variable here is test, and that is equal to armin. And now if I say, for example, console.writeLine test1, it's going to print that armin again, and it is just a variable. Okay, a string which is readable. You can put also number here. Okay, when you put it between two double quote there, that is just a string, you see, as a number, but this is a string. What is the differences between a string and number? Huge differences. Okay, we will find it. Huge differences between those two, because when this is a string, for example, when this is a string, I say, okay, var x is equal to test1, I mean test1 is 10 dot, this is a string, start with, for example, I say that start with x, then print x. Let's see, for example, I ask, is that string start, for example, with 1? It say, yeah, that's true. But if I say here this is an integer, okay, and I say this is, when this is integer, I'm going to remove that, and it say number, it doesn't contain, it's not okay, because number is not starting with something. Okay, instead you say test some other way, is equal to. But a string, in some cases this is really useful, because when you get it as a string, for example, let's see, I have here number 10, I get data, this is number 10, and I say here I'm going to cast it. When you get data as a string, this is really simple, you cast it. What is cast here? C# casting. I'm coming here, that's just the same everywhere. Casting. You wanna, for example, I have here I is equal to, well, you say, hey, let me come back here. I say here I have a string, and I want to say var x is equal, I have a string there, and I have here variable x. Okay, I say variable x is equal to 10. Okay, this is valid to here. But now let's something, these are both 10. Okay, if I say, for example, environment dot new line, like this, or maybe like this, environment new line. Okay, no, that's just like this, environment new line. Okay, I'm saying, okay, environment dot new line, like this. Why not? Okay, let me. I have here just two variable, and now here I say if, for example, x is equal to not 10, but I want to say x is equal to the 10 of a string. Is that possible? Test. You say here operator cannot be applied between those two, because we have operator, then you will see it, because that is a string. And now how what I'm doing, I say, okay, here I have a string test1, I say here, for example, test1 dot to I mean, I can cast it with two ways. Or I say here, I'm coming here, I say here, for example, I have here int test1 is equal to x. Let me see, a string to int. Let me see here what's problem here. I read x var x. Well, I'm saying here to a string. To a string. Okay, and now I say test1 dot, and now I say I have two string, and now I say equals, because it's a string, and these are built in, no need to know, just if that is equal to this one, now it say that is okay. I say here console not return. Console dot write line, for example, if that is this, I say true. Okay, it's check and remove this. It's check, and now just we compare integer. It doesn't matter if you get it as a string later, just you cast it. Let me back here. These are two things. These are two add and alias group on order by. These are really weird. Where okay, these are reserved word. These are we are not free to use these words everywhere. Okay, let me see which I have something important here or not. We have a string, after that we have operator, but this is also okay. Data types, a string, integer, this is the two important thing, and line, because after integer, okay, after this number, okay, we have unsigned integer, which is from 0 to this, okay, and long is 2 long, 1 2 3 4 5 6, so, and unsigned long, say this is really too long, and I don't know, and in signed integer, depends on the platform, I don't know. Okay, this is also okay. Let me see, decimal, hex, we want to make it simple, and let's say take this, because it's unsafe. Okay, I'll show you later. And now, because here we need to know concept, and then work will be very easy. Just say just logic, how you want solve problem. Let me see why it give me error there. I'm not expecting that. I ask, show me the maximum number, maximum value of, for example, I say integer. If you wanna see in your console or intern here, you say, for example, integer. You say, for example, integer is 2, this number, and you have, this is just, for example, bool max value. Bool has no max value. Okay, for example, bool, I don't know, you have everything, you just play with. They say Shumele, but Shumele is not the right one. Okay, this is just console when you wanna print something. Okay, this is just introduction. This is part 2. Have a nice day. See you in the next one.